It's Tuesday afternoon, and you know what that means. It's time for Randomity with the Random Christian Show. Today, the Random Christian Show welcomes pastor and author Mark Sowersby. The Random Christian Show is now officially sponsored by PJ's Coffee of New Orleans. Check out their summer drink specials today. Find the nearest PJ's Coffee to you at pjscoffee.com. Mention the Random Christian Show for a 15% discount. The Random Christian Show is proudly supported by The Advisor. The Advisor is a Facebook group created by Colonel James Neal Broadus, composed of multi-talents such as actors, directors, artists, writers, and more. If you fall into this category, contact them on Facebook at The Advisor. Intro music provided by The Dead Campers. Check them out on Spotify and at deadcampers.com. You can now watch past episodes of The Random Christian Show on your Roku on the Associate Productions channel. Catch up on all the episodes you've missed today. Next week, The Random Christian Show is taking a break, but we'll be back with a brand new show on August 16th with Lee Gibson, founder and executive director of the Relentless Pursuit Outreach and Recovery. My name is Andy, and now here's your host, Christian Random.
Hey,
hello.
Hey, how you doing? All right.
All right. Hey,
what?
Hey. All right.
I'm feeling jazzy. I'm feeling groovy. Plus, I got a PJ's cap on, so
I know you always look good in the PJ's cap.
Because it hides my bald head. That's why.
Right. I didn't want to say it. At least you said it. I didn't say it.
Yes,
so
man.
I'm in the clear.
Head of hair.
Thank you so much.
Yes, yeah, we know. It's
great.
It
takes a lot of work to get this, keep this nice and vibrant.
I remember the days back when I was 12, having a full head of hair. I'm not going, Mom, where's all the hair going? Don't worry, son, just comb it. It's fine. I don't get it, Mom. Welcome to the show. It is Tuesday because Monday we ignored. Tuesday we're here. We're here. We're all here, and we're here with you, and we are glad that you are here with us. We are so excited. We've got Mr. Mark Sowersby with us on the show today. Oh, and by the way, the Random Christian Show is now, we were the #1 show for the month on Good Pods. Yeah, that's right.
That's incredible.
Yeah. #1, baby, not 2 or actually.
No. Now we're
number 3.
Now we're 3. Okay, but we were number 1.
Yeah, for about a week or so, we were the #1 show for the month. And so no, that was last month. That's right. We've changed months. So now we're still sitting at number 3 for this month. Only going up from there, baby. Awesome. So yeah, with this show, we're going to skyrocket to 2.5. Pretty sure. So no, with Mark, we're probably going to go, 1.
Hey,
1 plus.
Sky's the limit with Mark.
With 5 stars. So, and he's got great hair too. So pretty much I'm factored out.
Yeah. You're Sesame Street. Which one is doing his own thing?
I should leave the hat on, shouldn't I?
Right. Leave it. Yeah.
But,
or
PJ's only pays us so much.
Right. And at least, or get a hat with some hair coming out the sides, just so it looks like you have hair.
Little fake wig in there.
Exactly.
Right. Awesome, man. Yeah. So the crowd liked that one. Yeah. Crowd did. Crowd.
Yeah.
Our feeling crowd.
We are not live in front of a studio audience, by the way. No.
We are in a way. We have what we like to call the chat that we like to enable. Right. There's Cheryl Atkins already checking in. Hey. Oh wait. Hold on, I forgot to. There, now we're fully enabled.
Good job.
There's Cheryl Atkins. Hey, how you doing, Cheryl? Cheryl is actually watching us from work. She told us about that a while back. And so if she gets a client, she can't respond, but she was very excited to be listening to Mark today as well. And his book, Forgiving the... Oh, my... See, Andy, this is why I need to make notes. I usually have notes. Forgiving the abuse. Anyway, he's going to talk all about it. I am such a dork. We are off next week. That's the other thing I wanted to mention real quick to everybody tuning in. Next week, we will not be here. We are taking a hiatus break for 1 week. and we're going to change seasons. So we'll be into season 4 next week. Yeah, I know the time is
This
just
is where
flying.
season 4 is where the show really gets good too. Yeah, we're gonna pay off a lot of our long standing arcs. We're gonna answer all of the questions
That's
that our
right.
normal watchers have had.
This is going to be the biggest cliffhanger you're ever going to see with Mark.
The loose ends. Yeah, this is all the loose ends. Season 4. Trust me, you're not gonna want to miss this.
A lot of Easter eggs in this show.
Right.
That
yes.
Are
right.
They're somewhere.
Yeah.
But speaking of Easter
absolutely,
eggs
yeah.
and doing good things, run to stop it right here. Look at all this. Look at all this cash you kids have been given for the hats. And we did order new hats. You can reach me on the email at therandomchristianshow@gmail.com or go to the website, The Random Christian Show, just therandomchristianshow.com. And there is a link on there that Andy has provided because he is a tech genius. And you can go in there and it basically just takes you to the Facebook page, which you can like, follow, and subscribe to, and order your hat through there. And it's just $25. It covers shipping all throughout the U.S. That's just the easiest way I could do it. That it comes in a nice little sturdy envelope, looks fantastic, and I throw in a sticker or two, so you'll have the hat. See, Andy's got the hat. I sold my last hat. But you'll get a sticker like that plus the hat, so you'll be fully. And again, the money goes to the 100% of the profits goes to Run to Stop It, which 100% of all of that money goes to fund Relentless Pursuit, all the human trafficking, sex trafficking, stop trafficking sites. Very great cause, and like I said, well, actually, like Andy said in the opening. Lee Robinson will be here in 2 weeks from Relentless Pursuit. He's actually going to be in the studio with me right here. So it's going to get intense. It's going to get fun, and we're going to learn a lot. So make sure you are tuning in for that. Don't forget to join our chat if you're watching. I see you out there. I'm like, what's her name?
Don't be creepy.
Like Miss
Don't
Mary
be creepy
Ann.
about it. Let people.
Got my mirror.
Let people feel like the chat is a safe space. So let's not be creepy about being in the chat.
There is no safe space with this show.
No, the chat is a very safe space. Feel free to say anything you want and be yourself. This is what the Random Christian Show is all about. Come here, sit in the chat, be random, and that's the way we like it.
There it is. Yes, it is. And speaking of random, it's been one of those weeks, and I'm not gonna lie. It's dealing with there's Myth's Tabitha John Haddon. Hello, what do I see? I see Tabitha watching the show with her husband John, and Miss Cheryl Atkins. But dealing with a lot of and I hate to do the generation gap kind of thing, but lately there's been a lot of angst. I'm really
Are you having millennial troubles?
There's been a little millennial age gap thing, and I don't like it. I don't like the
coming from the man whose favorite character is Grumpy Old Man. You're saying that you don't like bagging on millennials? Is that true?
You know what? Matt's not here anymore. Flippity flab. Back in my day, we didn't have generation gaps. We had nothing. That's the way it was, and we liked it. Flippity flab with your generational gap, millennial, Z, X, Y, Q, whatever, Gen Z.
So what were some of the problems you were having with millennials this week?
Well, let me just tell you about some of the. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, I had to pull back out of that. It is amazing to find the differences, and again, I try not to extrapolate onto them too much, but we ended up creating a list dedicated to the millennials, and it's 9 random excuses to not commit to something per a millennial. because there really seems to be a lack of commitment for showing up to work or doing the job right, or there's a lot of excuses. And so we thought we'd compile the top random 9, not top 9, random 9
No.
excuses
Excuses.
to not to commit to something per millennial. And thought we'd just kind of, there it is. There it is. See, I hit the button twice and it didn't trigger. I apparently I have no soul. That's why it doesn't make the button.
Right. Yeah. No, it doesn't recognize you.
It's like there's nothing there. There's nothing there. He's sold out to iHeartRadio and PJ's Coffee.
Right.
And we are still looking for sponsors. That's how much we're selling out. But so anyway, here is our 9 random excuses to not commit to something per millennials. Number 9. I Googled where it was supposed to be, and it didn't pull up.
Yeah?
Heyo. No, yeah.
Heyo.
Because, and you get that a lot. Just send me your location. Well, I just gave you the address. Well, if you send me the location, it's an address. That's how we do it. There, you have an address. It's a physical, actual numbered address. This is how you do it. And actually, Google Maps recognizes that. Google Maps is never right. Just send me your location. It's an address. I'm not sure how much simpler I can make that. So once you figure out where the address is, then we'll see you then. Okay, I'll be waiting for your location. All right. So which now brings us now to number 8. Number 8,
No,
Andrew.
Number 8, there's no Wi-Fi here, so I can't live stream about it or post it to social media to bitch about it. So why should I even do it?
And that's true, because that's the first thing that happens. The phone goes up in the face. You would not believe what I was just dealing with. Oh my gosh.
I ordered a mocha and I got a latte. Like, oh my God.
Speaking of, how about some delicious
PJ's Coffee?
PJ's Coffee.
Heyo.
Oh my God, the Rose 35 is a little liquid heaven. All right, number 7, random excuse not to commit to something per millennial. After I checked it out, it really seemed like a lot of work, so I just ghosted it. Yeah, which means they never showed up. So,
right. No. Yeah.
And that was just really silly at that point. There it is.
Yeah.
My soulless fingertips. Moving on to number 6. Number 6.
The new device I bought only came with printed instructions, not a YouTube video of how to set it up. So I returned it.
Yeah. Because, well, dude, there's a lot of reading. And if I could just watch a 5 or 10 minute YouTube video, it was so easily explain what's going on.
Like, come on,
Yeah, I know. It's pretty amazing. That's why we have books that you can read from and I guess be read to now. That's right. I forgot about that. Books can be read to you. So
yep.
Just move on from there. All right, number 5. I had to pay rent to my parents, so I didn't have enough money.
Yeah. No.
Which is true. And which
solid.
I fully commend the parents for saying, you know what? You're 25 now, and the basement's not free anymore. So I'm pretty sure that gaming aspect that you were really trying to be a professional on isn't paying off. So you're going to have to work at McDonald's.
All of my stints past 18 that I had to live with my parents, I had to pay rent.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't mind at all. So, but then I'm not in the age range we're bagging on right now.
No. And you worked and did what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Like, moving on to number 4.
Number 4, my post of wanting to try goat yoga only got 3 likes, so I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna try it.
And what is that about? What is with goat yoga? Really?
I don't know. I'm actually fascinated with this, with the people who want to try it and want to do it, and because I've seen it on some TV shows.
Yeah.
But no, it's
a little.
It's the funniest thing because the goats could not care about anything going on. Like they're just walking over people and like, and that's
Well,
it.
and that's the thing. And you know, when they walk around, they poop a lot, and then you get those little beads, warm.
But that's you know what? That's
jelly
the fun
beans.
of dealing with goats.
No, I'm not going to say that's fun. I'm going to say it's kind of gross and makes me laugh and giggle. Okay, now we're into the top 3 random excuses not to commit to something per a millennial. I'll commit to it or whatever. Just don't hold me to it or, something like that.
There you go. No.
Yeah. No.
No.
Huh?
Yeah. What? Okay.
A busy mom. Meatloaf. Want a meatloaf? All right. Hello, Wendy Macias. Hello. I can totally relate to dealing with entitled millennials. You are describing my sons.
Ouch. Sorry. Very sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm also talking about a lot of my employees. Number 2, Andrew. Hit me.
Number 2. Well, I wanted to try it, but the reviews were so bad online. So instead of making an informed decision by myself, I'd rather take a complete stranger's word for it.
Yes. That should actually be number 1. That should probably be number 1.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure number 1 really kind of covers the whole gambit of everything. So with that being said, we're going to I'm trying to get to the drum roll, but there it is. Number 1 reason for not committing to anything by a millennial, there's no app for it.
Right? Boom.
No.
There you go.
There's no app. There is no app for anything in life. You just have to do it. You have to step up to the plate and commit to being an adult and taking responsibility and using integrity and getting on with your life. Okay, I guess I'm done with that now.
Okay.
Hi, welcome back to the show. I'm Christian. This is Andy, and we're through with the Random 9 list. It's been brought to you by PJs and iHeartRadio or Spreaker Prime. We have a fabulous show for you today. We're not going to lie about it because we've got a gentleman here with us, and I gotta switch up. I have music queued for him, and everything is really cool. So yeah, I know I'm fading from one to the other. Yeah, because we got this nice groove going on.
There you go.
And here he comes. Ladies and gentlemen, pastor, author, Mark Sowersby.
Hey.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm well. Thanks for having me on today.
Hey, man. Glad to have you here. We are very excited to have you on and to talk about your book, which is Forgiving the Nightmare, not the Forgiving the Abuse. I seriously, can you tell I had kind of a sordid past as a child? Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
I ate a lot of lead paint chips. I'm not going to lie. They were delicious and tasty back then, but now I understand, why mom would say don't. But don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
I enjoyed my time in the green room. I was watching the show, and I liked the list, the millennial list, and of course, PJ coffee. I've never had it, but I plan to drink PJ coffee in my PJs.
There
you go.
So
it's a plan.
I'm going to have my PJs and drink PJ's coffee. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Exciting moment for me to be able to be a part of that.
Yeah, buddy. And actually, I think they're now you're up in Connecticut.
I am on the border of Connecticut and Massachusetts, so I say "ka" and "hob" and I say "wicked awesome." That's what
I'm banging a Yui.
Hey, I'm going over there. That's right, Yui, man. You're wicked awesome. That's what I say.
Great.
So, but yet now I have a millennial story. Can I tell it to you?
Oh,
yes,
please.
please.
All right. So I'm working with this millennial, and we wanted to make sure there was no time issue between our schedules. So I wrote him a letter and I said, let's connect so there's no conflict between our schedules. He didn't get back to me for a couple of days, and then eventually he got back to me with a document. It wasn't just a sentence or a paragraph. It was a document telling me how the word conflict is a threatening word and how he felt so hard to be able to address the issue. I was like, no, we don't have a conflict. I want to make sure our schedules do not conflict. And I'll never forget that. So now I'm being the old guy too.
Yeah. No, I recently finished a stint of coaching youth soccer where I was not allowed to use the word drill. Could not use the word drill.
What?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So no, I'm right there with you. Yeah. Conflict. Very, very, very threatening word.
I guess so. I'm just an old guy trying to figure this thing out.
So my
don't get me started, Mark.
My response would have been a Webster's definition dictionary definition of the word conflict in terms of what you were referencing and not the other.
Yes, I've had a great learning curve in dealing with millennials. Like your listener, I have several children that are millennials, and I'm trying to learn to communicate with them. And it's a process all on its own. So
it's learning a new language and figuring out the right thing to say. And
no.
And I'll be studying that while I'm drinking my PJ coffee in my PJs.
In your PJs.
Oh man, Mark, you are fitting right into the show.
Come
buddy.
on,
bring it on. PJ's Coffee, which is all over the U.S. here. So just help yourselves to some. In fact, hey, how about a little sippy sip?
That's right.
That is delicious coffee. Got a little kick to it though.
Whoa.
No. That was 15 years ago.
Is it Cajun coffee? It's from New Orleans, you said?
It is actually roasted down in New Orleans and by Felton. I can't remember his name now. Felton Jones. It's on the cup, I think. No, it's on the portable or the disposable cup.
That's not a disposable. He pays you to remember his name. I just needed you to remember the name of my book, which you gracefully forgot, but he pays you to remember who he is. So, yeah, that's good.
I'm just going over here.
It's okay.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, you're number one, and you're going into season 4. And
yes,
it's going to be great. It's going to be.
Well, we're hoping so. We're that's the goal, Mark. That's our goal.
It is. It's going to be great.
No, we're very excited. That I had to brag about that. I don't like bragging a whole lot, but when we do that against people like Dana Carvey and what's the other knucklehead, David Spade, and we beat them out. I was very happy. So hey, there you go. Welcome to the show. It's not about us, Mark. It's about you and your book, Forgiving the Nightmare, which is now. How long ago did you write this?
We wrote it basically about last year. We wrote it last year. It came out in December of 2021, right at the end of the year. So it's still within its first year of being released. Yeah.
So you're still fresh in the press, as they say, or whatever. Now, what was the whole inspiration behind this book? I mean, and now is this something that you use like in your pastoring, or is this something completely separate from what you're doing?
No, well, first of all, let me just say, guys, I get the shtick of the show. You're a couple wacky guys. You put a smile on everybody's face. But for you to take this topic on, I want to thank you for that. You're not afraid to address something a little bit more deeper, serious, maybe even ugly at times. And I want to appreciate that. It's great to have a smile. It's great to put laughter in people's lives. I probably hid behind trying to be the class clown for many, many years. And for you guys to address something that we're going to talk about, my book, Forgiving the Nightmare, and the things that happened in my life, I just really want to say, thank you so much for not being afraid to dive into a subject that can be quite ugly, but also through God's grace can bring peace and hope with only through God. So thank you guys for jumping into this. So my book's called Forgiving the Nightmare.
Yeah.
It's called Forgiving the Nightmare. It was launched, like I said, at the end of last year, 2021. We're on Amazon. Bing. No, I don't know. Yeah, we're on Amazon, which is great. We got a website, all that kind of jazzy stuff. But really what happened is I grew up in abuse. I grew up horribly abused from the ages of 7 to 14. And wherever your mind goes with that, that's what happened. I was physically abused, emotionally abused, verbally abused, sexually abused. I was burnt, stabbed, stole to others. For 7 years of my life, in those very early developing years, I just survived. A lot of people go, how do you feel back then? Well, I felt everything. I'm a human. I felt angry. I felt sad. I felt lost. But mostly I probably just felt numb. I was confused. I didn't know my father. I was born from an affair. The man my mother married was the man who would abuse my body. So really those years where you're supposed to be maturing and developing and becoming one's own and trying to figure out which way is up, I learned to duck.
Yeah.
I learned to duck. So, that's kind of what the story's about. That's where it starts, but it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. And I would say that my nightmare was child abuse, but many people are listening today, turning into you for that moment of laughter, would probably say they went through a nightmare, a loss, a pain, an addiction, something in their life that caused them a nightmare that's been trying to hold them back and shackle them too. So Forgiving the Nightmare is a book more about hope than it is about hurt, more about faith than it is about fear.
Right.
So again, it's what the book we wrote. And why did I write it? Not because I wanted to. What do we say in the church world? Because God put in my heart to. As we would say, I just was obedient to the Lord.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing that drew me to this was your book was not about, oh, it's such a horrible life. No, you talked about the coming through it and surviving through it and bringing yourself back out and helping others,
Amen.
which is amazing. And I mean, because so many people will fall into that just pit of despair and it's woe is me, and they almost refuse to bring themselves out of it. And that's that, like I said, what drew me to your book, just reading the little description of it, I was like, wow, this isn't a book about, oh, this was so horrible. I mean, yes, I'm not downplaying what happened or anything like that.
I get it. Yeah.
But the thing is how you forgave, you moved out of it and you grew and you only really became stronger, and how you developed your faith and how you stepped up into, I mean, give us I know you kind of gave us give me a little more something on the synopsis of your book here. Let's
sure.
let's give
like
because there's a lot of people out here listening all over the world.
Well, like I said, it's a book we wrote to be honest. I tried to be as genuine as I can. My faith means everything to me. My faith is the rock I live on, the God I cry out to. Everything's about my faith. But I don't want to put on a plastic smile. Because I have faith, because I'm a Christian and a pastor, doesn't mean I don't have bad days, doesn't mean I don't have fear, disappointment. So when I wrote the book, I wanted to experience and express all those attributes of going through this journey called forgiveness. Yes, I thank God that he was with me, that his word was with me, that his spirit was with me. But what does that look like on a Monday morning? How do I put that in play when I go to work or when I'm driving down the street, when the kids are having a bad day and the wife and I are talking about junk? How does all that kind of work into life? Yeah, I thank God for my prayer closet, and without it, I could never be where I'm at today. But what do I do? So in my book, I tried to say, faith and the practical, they don't have to be two separate things. They can be one, they can be combined. So that's kind of what I talked about. Be genuine, let you know about the 2 steps forward and the 1 step back, let you know about the bad days and the hard days, let you know about the doubt and the fear. But at the end of the day, I know that it was only by God's grace and God's mercy that I could say I've forgiven. But I didn't start this journey off by saying, hey, I want to forgive everybody who's done anything wrong to me. I started this journey off by saying, I really want to know God. As you heard earlier, I grew up in a home full of dysfunction. You can imagine, I'm sure your listeners can imagine just how ugly a home like that could be.
Yeah.
My abuser's native language was deception, lies. And I grew up in that home. So when I started this journey, I went to church at 16, and I just didn't want to know religion. I wanted to know God. God, if you're real, that's the kind of God I want to know. Not just man's thou shalt not or man's practices. I
Right.
wanted to know God. And by seeking God is where I started to learn how to forgive those who trespass against me.
Okay. And see, and we had a little brief talk last week, you know, in which it really got me even so much more excited to have you on the show, because you're one of these guys. You're a pastor that is hungry for God. You're hungry about talking about God and what God represents and what it's about. It's not, I mean, yes, the Bible is the law of the God, but the Bible can get so misrepresented and so twisted and turned. I mean, that's just man's fault. Is we try to make words sound okay for everybody else, but you're not like one of those guys. You're like, this is how it is, and you speak the word of God, and you're talking about the realities of it, and you know, this whole forgiving the abusers, and I mean, this is what it's about. And it was funny, the other day I was talking with someone about a 12-step program, and how, I mean, the 12-step program, AA, was developed based off of biblical principles,
Sure.
principles, and but it goes along with so much in life that we have to deal with, and you have to go back and where you can, make amends where you can. If it's too dangerous to do so to you or that person, don't do it. Let it go. They're gonna find their own path at their own time, whatever. You know, it's there's a certain there's so much familiarity through all of it, through the 12-step programs and stuff. But again, like I said, the way you've approached it and the way you've done it is it was so honest, and it's so pure, and it's what, you know, what I like to imagine Jesus was doing, which I mean, you know, I have a very similar pastor that we follow at my church, and he was actually on the show also. But it's the way you talk, and that's what it's about. It's you know, you don't go
Well,
verbatim off of it.
I appreciate what you said. You know, all I tried to do is to be honest, genuine, real, talk about a God who loves me. I
Yeah.
would like to think I'm the least religious person in the world. Now, again, if you see me on a Sunday morning, I'm standing in front of a church. I've done weddings, I've done funerals. I do, you know, I lead communion and all the things that are traditional to a church, and that's my life. I love my faith. I love my church. We're up here in Dudley, Mass. We're a Calvary Community Church. So yeah, I'm a traditional pastor. I do all the things that would require or request, and I love that part. But I also serve a real God, a God
Yeah.
who just comes beside people. And I think in the journey, sometimes, you know, religion gets in the way of
Mhm.
relationship.
Right.
So, you know, and I'd rather have a relationship with God than a religion with God. So,
Yes.
you know, I think on that journey, it's all about perspective. We talk about forgiveness, but you know what? Forgiveness and reconciliation is two different things. And I'm
Right.
not a psychiatrist or a doctor. I've read about it. I've talked to people a lot smarter than me. So, you know, I've kind of learned a little bit about that, but you know, forgiveness is the first process. Reconciliation is a whole nother process. It has a lot of different people involved, you and other people. So, you know, have I reconciled with everybody that's wounded me? No. Have I forgiven? By the grace of God, and only by the grace of God have I forgiven. So I kind of looked, you know, had to look at what that is. I had to kind of look at what's it really mean to forgive. You know, I hear people say forgive and forget. You know, I don't want to be ugly, but when you have had your body ravished by somebody's lustful desires, it's kind of hard to forget that.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of hard to forget
Absolutely.
being burnt, you know, being burnt and stabbed. And so do I forgive and forget? No, but I can still forgive. Does forgiving mean that I don't want to see justice be done, that I'm letting the abuser off the hook? Of course not. I want justice. God is a God of justice. Does it mean that I don't have to forgive, you know, one time and I walk away? No, I think sometimes I got to forgive daily, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And I'll tell people it's all about perspective. You know, I think I think for me, I was always waiting for that day where it'd all be gone. That I'd wake up and that familiar lie, hurt, pain, insecurity wouldn't be there anymore. That,
Right.
I'd wake up and it'd be utopia. It would be rainbows and butterflies. None of my
Right.
past would ever, yeah, none of my past would ever, echo in my mind. Well, that day's never come. And some
Yeah.
days I wake up, I have triggers, I have memories, and I wake up and some of those familiar lies, or we would say in the church world, the enemy's attack, try to come up and try to overwhelm me. But you know what happened in my life? Even though the Everest of my abuse, and it like a mountain that casted its shadow on everything I did, the way I felt about myself, the way I applied myself, the way I talked about myself, the way I presented myself, it was a shadow that casted over everything I did. What happened was, even though it's not gone away, God became bigger. God became
Right.
the light. God became my strength. God became the hope. So that mountain of pain that had so much over me for so long, when I learned to forgive and trust God, when I learned to hope and love God, when I learned to surrender my ways, because God's ways are higher than my ways, and I know it's not easy, and I don't say it
Yeah.
lightly,
Yeah.
but when I learned to do that, God's ways became bigger than that mountain. So that mountain's big, but God is bigger.
Right.
Right.
Now, okay. Now, and you were talking about, there's a line. How do you know where to define how do you define that line? Where is there a point where you're like, okay, yes, or okay, I got to hold back, or where?
Well, I think that's all individually, and as we would say in my circles, the Lord would lead you to that. But sometimes
Yeah.
there's people today that are probably listening that are still holding on pains for people who have passed on. You can't go to that person and say, "Will you forgive me?" Because they're gone.
Yeah.
Maybe there's people today that are listening that have trauma from people that don't even realize they caused the trauma. They're not ready to even
Right.
say, "I'm sorry." They're living in ignorance, and what's your problem? So a lot of times the forgiveness has to start in us. Now, how does that start? How do I forgive something when somebody hasn't even asked me to forgive them? Because it changes the perspective. See, God
Right.
forgave me, so he's required me to forgive others, but he's
Yeah.
patient and he's kind and he's loving and he's merciful and he helps me be able to forgive those things I can't forgive. It's not done overnight. Like I said, it's been a journey. There's been a
Yeah.
lot of ups and downs. I asked all the hard questions. Where were you, God? If you're a loving God, why did this happen? I asked all those questions, of course. But I
Yeah.
think in that personal journey, God will show that individual and in their situation how much and where to walk. But God desires us to seek ye first the kingdom of God. So as we give
Yeah.
ourselves to God, God will lead us through those places.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm sorry. Were you gonna say something, Andy?
No, no.
Oh,
I think this is an incredible start to this conversation, and it's I mean, like you said, we're all dealing with a certain aspect of something that we hang on to that drags us down in a way that
yeah.
puts a frown on our face, that stops us from doing something of where we should be going, right? And I do love that you say that it's not gone, but now your faith is bigger.
That's
Your
right.
faith is bigger than that, and I think that's such an important lesson to sort of hammer home, is that you're not ignoring it.
Yeah.
You're not pushing it aside, but you're acknowledging it in a way, right?
Yeah, of
And
course.
you're not giving it the power that it once had over you, because fueling you with a bigger power that is
That's right.
allowing you
That's right.
that's allowing you to say, hey, I can do this, right?
That's right.
I can open my eyes in the morning, I can put on my shoes, I can walk downstairs.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like
That's right.
that's such a so I mean, again, I mean, we haven't really gotten to the meat there, but just what you've said so far, I mean, just resonates so much with, again, it doesn't necessarily need to be something big like what happened to you,
No.
but
Yeah.
it can be, yeah, but it's all how you choose to weigh it, and the energy you choose to use to dwell on it versus
Yeah.
that you use to use somewhere else. So
I would say it like, and I didn't do this by myself. Let me say,
right.
I had counselors, I had coaches, I had pastors, I had friends. It wasn't like I just woke up on this journey. There was other people that came beside me
Yeah.
in different roles, professors and just people, those adopted, if you would, moms and dads that kind of just bring you into their homes and love on you. So yeah, I had a nucleus of friends and community that helped me through this. Now, you're hearing this story. I'm past 50. I'm on the other side. That's why we're talking about millennials. So, I don't know if I talked this way when I was 25 or 30 or 35.
Right.
But now that I'm getting a little long in the tooth, a few more gray hairs than I want to admit, the perspective has changed. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is, one of my favorite stories is Jesus catches the woman. Well, they bring the woman that's accused of adultery.
Yeah.
And Jesus tells the crowd, those with no sin cast the first stone. So
Right.
the story is that they caught a woman in adultery. They're trying to trap Jesus by trying to get him to say something. And he looks at the crowd and he says, those with no sin cast the first stone. And if you keep reading, the Bible tells us the oldest among them dropped the stones first. Meaning, and I think as we get a little older, we're not so ready to judge. We're not so ready to
get a little wiser.
Say, hey, I have all the answers. So,
right.
So I'm telling you, the journey I went on was solid, rocked in, built by, held up, supported in by God and God alone. But in that journey, there was tears, there was anger, there was victory, there was doubt, there was celebration, there was all kinds, and there was people. There were people, again,
Right.
pastors and teachers and all kinds of people who came by, counselors that would come by and help me. So, I'm telling you that it wasn't always easy, but when I learned to surrender those things by faith and no longer let them hold me back, to have ownership over me. See, my abuser stopped abusing my body when I was 14. I got big enough to fight him off, and my uncle got involved and became my defender. But my abuser still had control over me for many years because the lies and the way my abuser groomed me to make me feel like everything was my fault lasted well into my adulthood. So I had to sever that and get rid of it. And the only way I could do it is by saying, Lord, I released this person who did such a horrible thing to me, not looking for them to get off the hook, not looking for them to, have a kumbaya moment. But Lord, I release them to you. And in that, by giving this situation to you, I have forgiven it by you, through you, and in you.
Right. And which is just a huge, basically, leap of faith, because, that's all you do. You're like, listen, it's out of my hands. It's all up to you. And which in God's time does it. He will either avenge his justice or bring someone around,
That's right.
and it's people, murderers that are in jail and stuff like that. Oh, they're just doing that to cop out. Some do. I'm not gonna lie. I think there's some that use it to try and see if they're gonna get forgiveness from other people or whatever, which is completely selfish and wrong. But then there's other people who, you can tell they've come around. And they're penitent. So and then they're like, you know what? I'm ready to die. It's fine. I get it. I screwed up, and this is my fault. And they full on step into this. Now, let me ask you this: Were you, as a child, were you guys being raised in a family of faith, or was this something that developed later on?
Yeah, my faith grew later on. I grew up in a religious family. I knew what I wasn't more than I knew what I was. I knew I wasn't Catholic, but I didn't know what I was. I just knew I wasn't Catholic. What am I? Hey, you're not Catholic. What am I? God, don't be mean to people.
Yeah.
Do a good thing. Go to church on Christmas.
Right.
Well, what am I? You're not Catholic.
Right.
Which I think a lot of people do the buddy Christ, like in Dogma. They're like, oh hey, it's buddy Christ. And
there's not a box for not Catholic on religious affiliation.
Right.
There should be.
Where am I?
There really should be.
Right.
So So yeah, later on in my life, part of that coming out, if you would, 16 years old, summer of 15, 16, I was,
Coming
you
out
know,
to
I was out
Christ,
of
not
school.
coming out of the closet or anything
No,
like that.
oh no. Coming out of the abuse, coming out of the pain, coming out of the
Yeah.
fear, and kind of growing and maturing and coming out in the sense of, uh, building my own awareness. And there
Mhm.
I stumbled, called, got picked up by a youth group that kind of just showed me acceptance, and that started
Nice.
my faith journey. And I said the old sinner's prayer.
Back in my days, we didn't have sinner's prayer. We just went, oh God, I screwed up. And then a bolt of lightning come down and strike us and we'd be dead. And that's the way we was and we liked it. Flibbity flab.
That's it.
Getting
That's it.
forgiveness. You just got squashed and that was it. Sorry.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. No,
See,
it's good. It's good.
When we had Matt, who was our director producer, he would Corey Hall, hey, what's up, buddy? He would tell me to stop. So I don't have that anymore, and Andy's far too nice most of the time.
I try not to yell at him on air.
No, but it'll be popping up in the private chat soon if I continue. Shut up.
All right. Yeah.
You guys make me feel right at home. Right at home.
That's beautiful. Okay, so now you're home now. Have you always been out on the East Coast?
I am. Yeah, pretty much. I spent a few years in Ohio, which was kind of like a Midwest explosion for me. That was like the heartland. It was great. It was wonderful. Met a lot of good people. They all thought I talked really fast, and I thought they talked really slow. But it was really great people that really impacted my life for a long time. But that's about as far as I ever lived. I was way up there in Ohio.
Yeah, baby.
You know, for dead in Ohio.
Easy, Neil Young. You've already pulled your music off Spotify. I mean, come on now. Don't you make me start renting on Spotify and their pulled music list. Back in my okay. So you basically you're East Coast boy. I mean, through and through.
Like to think more of a man.
East Coast man. Well, East Coast man. Sounds like a song by Neil Young. But we can't hear it because it's not on Spotify anymore. Okay, sorry.
Look at my life. I'm a lot like you. East Coast man, look at my life. I'm a lot like
as long as we don't do Cats in the Cradle, we'll be good. Because then I'm going to start crying. It's going to make me sad. And I'll become the Klemp's darling. Oh.
You love Galaxy, the Garden of the not Garden, the Galaxy,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
You love it. It's the best soundtrack there is.
Tell me you turn it up
just to hear the soundtrack. Right?
There's not enough police in it though. So once they start using the police on their soundtracks, then I will be. Yes, Corey Hall, you should be confused. Corey Hall is one of our staple listeners and supporters, and we like to confuse him. Corey Hall is also a pastor, by the way.
Does he sound like Monty Hall? What's behind that door? I'm sorry.
You know, I never even brought that correlation together, but now it makes a lot of sense.
Open that Bible to book 3. Go to
what's behind that pulpit? Let's take a look.
That's right.
All right.
The altars are open. Come on down. I don't know. Sorry, Mr. Hall. I'm sorry.
No, this totally fits in with this show, Mark. This is what it's about. So, in fact, now
I was an abuse victim, so my mind.
Now you get this. Now you get our "Yes, we're nerds" sign. So, you're part of the crew. This is all. We're the three amigos now at this point. Okay, so how long did it take you to write this book? Because this is a pretty. This is you bearing your soul, and I know that could not be easy to be going through.
No. Now you want the real. Here's the story, right? God has a sense of humor because one of the casualties of my upbringing was my education. I'm a dyslexic, and I never got the support or the aid that I needed because I wasn't raised. I survived. I didn't learn how to read. I learned how to duck growing up. So I'm a dyslexic. And when I graduated high school, 3rd grade reading level, and that's just kind of the way it was. So I wrestled my whole life with academia. It was always intimidating me. I never felt comfortable in it. But my wife graduated with more colors around her neck than a Christmas tree because she got Latin words and she's in like these special
right.
and I can't even say it. She's simplify. No, not that one. But
that's the Marines.
That's right. That's another one. So we put the book together and I wrestled with God. Hey, God, I'm a 3rd grade reading level dyslexic. And the Lord's helped me out so much that he just kind of put the story together. I've been writing it my whole life, but we put pen to paper. It kind of took us about a year to write it. I kind of spilt myself out on the page. I handed it to my wife and she said, I love you, but it needs a period and a capital.
Right.
We need there's things called
got to use the big letter, not the little letter.
And then she was like semicolon, and I was like, what?
Whoa, what are you doing to my colon? What's going on?
And then she told me to go and leave her alone. So we were able to put it together. We found a great publisher that has a lot of patience because he dealt with me. And
yeah,
that's right.
Sorry, it was ill-timed, but it needed to be in there. So
we said colon.
Colon. That just makes me want to do that right there.
Listen. We're talking about abuse, and then we talk about I'll get out of here. All right.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right.
That is up to me to make those correlations, not up to you. That's
okay.
But see, I would have done that and felt horrible.
Everybody.
Corey, now this show's going down the crapper. Good
Thank you, Mr.
Lord.
Credential Holder. Here, you can have him back now because I was on this random show.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was in good standing with my fellowship in an ordained minister for many years of my life. And then I was on a radio show podcast.
Yeah, thank God you're not Catholic because you'd be doing a lot of Hail Marys at this point.
Right. Yeah.
And rosaries and whatever else they do to try and forgive themselves for doing whatever horrible things they do. Hey, Mark, hang out with us for a little bit. I want to, we're going to take a little commercial break. We use these guys to pay for things
Got to keep the lights on.
And got to keep the lights on and the live stream supported and going like that. Can you hang out for just a little bit with us?
I'm not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere. Fantastic, buddy. All right, give us just a minute. We're going to jump into this commercial and then we're going to be right back. Thank you. The Random Christian Show is now sponsored by PJ's Coffee of New Orleans, specializing in small batch roasted coffees and teas and delicious beignets and baked goodies. Now, obviously, the coffees are mind-blowingly amazing, okay? My personal favorite is the Roast 35 in Papua New Guinea because I like the dark roast, but hey, they have a great variety from light to dark and even in decaf. Maybe you want some tea or some chocolate? Well, they've got that, and hot or cold as well, and even blended drinks to help beat this summer heat. PJ's offers pour-overs or hot or cold drips, and nothing says PJ's of New Orleans like a beignet. Yeah, that's right. These delicious little morsels from heaven complement any of these beverages or just a munch on alone. PJ's has scones, muffins, bagels, croissants, and sandwiches. Yeah, that's right. My favorite is the Cuban. Muy delicioso. At PJ's of New Orleans, the coffee starts with the selection, and they are finicky, all right? But it shows in the quality and the deliciousness of this coffee. Okay, then they small batch roast it. That's right. They give it the love it deserves for each unique flavor by roast master Felton Jones. PJ's of New Orleans is a small franchise, but they are growing and they take great pride in their product by doing just that, keeping it small and keeping it under control. Now, there are locations growing throughout the U.S. in Louisiana, of course, Mississippi, Texas, Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, now in New Jersey and Maryland, and out west they've got Colorado, California, and of course right here in Missouri and Kansas City up in Platte City, Missouri. Maybe there's no PJ's Coffee near you. Well, what do? You get on the interweb and you go to pjscoffee.com, and they're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. You can order the coffees you need right from their website at pjscoffee.com, or you can find a location that's near you and go there and get it yourself along with some delicious food. All right, pjscoffee.com. Check them out, PJ's Coffee of New Orleans. If you mention the Random Christian Show, you're going to get a 15% discount, especially here in Platte City, Missouri. All right, PJ's Coffee of New Orleans. Go to the interweb, pjscoffee.com, order you some coffee or find a location near you. Get your order online and have it ready for you when you get there, or use the drive-thru. All right, PJ's Coffee of New Orleans at pjscoffee.com. Small batch roasted coffee because they care. There it is. Thank you, PJ's Coffee, and thank you for everybody checking us out. Make sure you go to their website, pjs.com, and find out what you need. In the meantime, though, we got, well, not really the son of a preacher man, but we got the author of a great book called Forgiving the Nightmare, Pastor Mark Sowersby. Welcome back, sir. Thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate you, sir.
Thanks for having me. It's a blessing.
Okay. Now, again, you are a pastor as well. So now, do you have your own little podcast or anything that you do promoting your stuff? Or no?
I don't. I have been a guest on several podcasts. It's been a blessing. The podcast community has really helped me.
The first?
You know, yeah, you're not the first, but I'll never forget you.
Probably the first of this kind. Yeah, maybe.
Yes. You'll never be forgotten. So I've been a guest on several podcasts. Just recently, the 700 Club did an episode about forgiving the
dude.
700. Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah.
No, I feel like we're up there now, man.
My people will talk to your people.
Right. I'm not sure if that's a wise decision, but we'll roll with it because we like you. And this book is great. Forgiving the Nightmare is now where can people find it on Amazon? Is that correct? Where else can we
got
find
a couple ways. Amazon is probably the easiest way. Just go to Amazon, Forgiving the Nightmare, and you can find it there. We're on our website. There's a link there to buy the book, forgivingthenightmare.com, and I'm on all the social medias. Forgiving the Nightmare, on my name, Mark Sowersby. Love to connect with you. Again, we just try to be real, honest, genuine. We serve a perfect God, and that's all I can say. I serve a perfect God who loves me, who gives me strength to get through, and he holds me up and gives me joy and peace and hope in all the right places.
Yeah, dude. And it's so refreshing to hear you talking about this and the way you've tackled a very heavy subject, but you brought so much light to it and out of it, the way, again, how you've given the forgiving and you've moved and you've succeeded and come from just a horrible darkness. And yeah, Corey, I was actually going to refer him to you. Corey, like I said, has a podcast as well. And I think you would enjoy spreading out and talking with him on his show as well.
I'd be honored.
So it's called Simply Said. Now, where are we going from here with this book? Because I know you mentioned something when I talked with you last week about it, and I tried to send you some information with some people and whatnot. You're looking to move a little further than just a book, aren't you?
Well, I really believe there's some merit in the story. Let me just back up and say, in my prayer closet, in my heart of hearts, not audible, but in my heart of hearts, I really felt the Lord spoke to me and said, this story is not my story. It's his story through me. And the redemption that I know through God, the peace I know through God, I believe is for everyone. I had all those things, those hurts, those wounds. And for many years of my life, my past tried to dictate my future. It stole my joy. It stole my value. It trapped me. And when I came not into religion, but when I came into a relationship with God through his son, Jesus Christ, it gave me a hope and a joy that's unspeakable. Doesn't mean I don't have bad days or it doesn't mean I don't go through junk, but I just have a hope now and an outlook on life. So I believe my story has merit, and that's what I get told when people read the book. It's not make-believe, it's not pretend, it's not plastic, it's real. And I would love to see this story go further. And, I'm kind of researching and, hey, is there maybe a film or a documentary or something a little bit grander to put this story to video or to the movie theaters? But hey, everything I've done on this has been by faith, because I'm not a rich man. So, so it's all by faith and by grace. So,
due to contrary belief, pastors don't make a whole lot of money. So
not this one.
Unless you're a fake pastor like Joel Osteen, then you make a lot of money that you don't give to anybody else, and that's not what it's about. Just so you know. We are talking with Mark Sowersby, pastor and author of Forgiving the Nightmare. Now, there is going to be a link on our website with the show to your book and everything like that. So if anybody needs to find it, if you get a little lost, just go straight to therandomchristianshow.com and find the show with Mark Sowersby, Sowersby, just so people know when they're trying to look you up on the website or on your socials.
And I pronounce it Sowersby.
Oh,
so like Sowersby,
like reaping and sowing.
Yeah, not like a baby pig, like Sal.
Yeah,
like Sowersby. I do wrestle with my weight, but
okay. Wow. Oh, great! Now I'm calling you fat. That's
fat
awesome.
Shaming me.
Yeah.
This is about the normal time of our show where Christian insults the guest.
Yeah,
just so you know.
So
like this
that one's right on cue.
Yeah, I'm okay. God loves me. God loves me.
That's a check in my mark right there. So we're good there. There it is. There's the scream. What's this word thing you speak of? Yeah, Corey Hall knows what we're talking about. That's why he just had a huge garage sale and sold pretty much everything he had in his house.
Behind garage doors. See, Mom, I'm sorry. You can go. I'm sorry. What's behind garage door number 1, kids? Use furniture.
See, Corey, I think we need to do some talking. Okay, so you really want, and you know what? In this day and age, it's not that unbelievable to see a movie like this. This is how a lot of word about things are getting spread and put out there. And now I did send you some information on some people to talk to and whatnot. Were you able to reach out to anybody yet?
I was able
to
get plugged into an awesome Facebook page and group. They really tried to help me out and plug me in and kind of direct me and maybe allowed me to post some things. So yeah, there's doors opening, but again, I have no visions of grandeur. I don't think I'm the next big shot, though I do wonder who would play me in the movie.
Right. And we did have this discussion as well.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, if they make a movie of Forgiving the Nightmare and talk about how I came out of abuse by God's grace and now I walk in freedom by God's love, I've really thought maybe being a Boston guy,
Sylvester Stallone.
Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, there you go.
I know there's a lot of similarities. I don't, but I thought Mr. Mark Wahlberg, if he's watching, hi, Mark. We're both Mark.
And hi, Mark, if you are watching, and please call me.
Yeah, it'll be less confusing for him as an actor being called Mark on set.
Right?
And he can do the accent well, Mark.
Yeah, there you go.
See?
Oh yeah, he does have it down. That's true.
He does.
Or what about Matt?
Matt Damon.
Damon.
I won't complain.
I could kind of see that. Oh, look, Lois is voting for Mark. There we go. All right. I was going to offer to fill in the role, but apparently I don't have the hair for it. So
Listen, we all wrestle with things.
Uh,
We all wrestle with things, and obviously, I've already been mentioned that I'm fat. So,
Yeah.
oh, wow. I did not say you were fat. That
All
was
right.
Andy. Andy was saying
Oh
that.
yeah, now you're putting words in my mouth. See, okay, here we go.
Oh,
Here we
so
go.
we're just feeding you a bunch of stuff, so that just makes him
Right.
fatter.
Wow.
Wow, Andy,
Wow.
that's just rude, dude.
Wow.
Gosh. And he's a guest on our show.
It's-
Welcome to it. It's the Random Christian Show. Yeah. All right. It's all about the love, Mark. You know that at this point. I mean, my goodness, this is where we all come from, and we just love having people, especially like you. Like I said, dude, this is such it's really a heavy subject that you've been talking about,
Yeah.
but you do it with such positivity. You don't. I mean, yes, there is darkness in it, but you bring so much light out of it, and by light I mean you make it a positive purpose out of this instead of something where
Sure.
it just dwells on it. And again, that's what drew me to this, and that's what drew me to bringing you on, man, because this is how you represent dark things and how to help people. It's not like, oh, you need to do that, and you just
Yeah.
dwell on the negativity of it. You dwell on the positivity and the outcome of it all, which is
That's right.
what it's
That's right.
about. And
Yeah.
this is, and doing it with God's grace and God's love and God's forgiveness. I mean, it really is amazing how you've pulled this through and how you just made it such an amazing adventure. And dude, I really think a movie is not out of line
Wow.
because
Thanks.
again, seriously, Beauty for Ashes right there. Lois nailed it.
Thanks.
Um,
Well, I was going to say, one of the biggest casualties when we go through trauma, and I'll just put it that way, because we all have trauma. Mine was child abuse, and people are listening today. They know what they're dealing with. We all have trauma. And one of the first casualties of trauma, and there's many, is that we get our trust taken from us. We just stop trusting.
Yeah.
It gets robbed from us. So we don't trust people. We don't trust people. Look around. So much trust is gone. And I would say one of the best gifts I got back by forgiving those who trespass against me is I started to trust. There would be many years ago, if I was on your show, we were teasing and playing and joking, the insecurities in me would be so big that I couldn't handle it. But
Right.
the freedom that I have now is called the joy of the Lord. It doesn't mean I make light of what happened to me or I make a mockery or a joke. I know the pain. I know the hurt. I know what it stole from me. I know the reality of it. I know that it's there. It's, constantly trying to capture me back. But I have a joy. The Bible says, put on the garment of praise, for the spirit of heaviness is lifted off. And that garment of praise comes in a song for me. It comes in a joke with me. It comes in meeting new friends. It comes in communication. And it's not so much a systematic 1, 2, 3. It's who I am. And may the mouth that spoke so much death about my own self for so many years now speak life in God's grace and mercy. There's a man in the Bible who gets healed from being blind.
Yes.
And the Sanhedrin call him in to kind of give him an inquiry to try to what happened? They wanted all this kind of facts. What did Jesus say? And what didn't he say? And what did he do? And he says this, he goes, I don't know about any of that. All I know is I was blind and now I could see. For me, I carried so much hatred to my own self. I despised who I was for so long. I held in this pain. I ate it. I never felt like I could accomplish anything. When I walked in the room, because of the lies of the abuse and the grooming of my abuser, I felt like junk, trash. And now, not that I have it all figured out, but I have a peace that comes from God. And that peace allows me to smile. And peace allows me to tease. It allows me to be real. So what people are seeing today, some might go, come on, man, this is a serious subject. And it is. And believe me, I know that it is.
Yeah.
But also the joy that you could find to say, it's okay to smile. It's okay to relax.
Yeah.
It's okay to let God be God.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the key word that you threw in there was you were groomed. And that's
Yeah.
a word I think a lot of people are not so accustomed to. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, I was trained to be this." No, groomed is a
Yeah.
perfect word for it because it is a gentle, soothing way that, or not soothing, but the way you get groomed into things is it's not something you're forced to do. It's something that you're just conditioned to, and it
Yeah.
becomes part of a natural part of your life. I mean, I don't talk about it a whole lot, but you know, I was the only boy out of several. I had three sisters, and I was the only boy. So basically, when something went wrong, it's Chris's fault. Okay, and it all came down on me. And my sisters always say, "Oh, he's the little prince," and yeah, well, I also was the little beating bag sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, things like that, and it was not. I'm not saying just physical; it was verbal, very verbal, and all that, and again, it became such a natural thing after a while. I really had to fight from doing it to my kids, and I always prayed. I always
Yeah.
said, I will never be like my father. I will never do that. I got myself being a lot like my father in a lot of ways, but then I started going, okay, and I would, change the conditioning and the grooming that I was in and groom myself to be more positive. And I groom myself, and I still fall into it every now and then. But the thing is, like I said, your key word there was you were groomed. You were
Yeah,
groomed. You were conditioned. This was a normal day for you.
yeah.
Taking the
It's all I
abuse, taking
knew.
all that. Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
all I knew. It was my environment. It's all that I knew. It was the oxygen in the air around me. I didn't know
right.
any other way. Let me put it this way, and I'm going to put on my pastor hat for a minute. I'm going to give you a
Do it.
sermon.
Bring it.
Open
Okay.
up
Oh,
your
here we go.
Bibles to the book of Genesis. In the book of Genesis, we find a story about a man named Jacob. Now, the
Yeah.
name Jacob in the biblical term means liar and deceiver. And we find Jacob one night and he's wrestling with an angel or God. The Bible kind of lets us know he's in this wrestling match. And they're wrestling all night long. And to the point where the angel touches the socket of Jacob's hip and knocks it out of its joint. And they continue to wrestle. And finally, the angel says, "It's almost daybreak. Let me go." And Jacob says, "I won't let you go until you bless me." And the angel says to him, "What's your name?" And he has to speak out. He has to say, "My name's Jacob," which again, in the biblical terms in those days, meant deceiver or liar. And then the angel says, "No longer is your name Jacob, but it's now Israel." And in the NIV, it says, "It's because I call this place Israel because you've wrestled with God and man and you've overcome." Sometimes when you got junk in your life, a trauma, you got to wrestle with it.
Yeah.
And
Dude.
sometimes wrestling with
Yeah.
it, there's a
Oh,
couple of scrapes, boom, sacrifices, and you got to kind of deal with it. And it's not easy. You want to hear you're good and everything else is, but you got to just wrestle. But like
Yeah.
Jacob had a name change. Jacob was no longer deceiver, but he became overcomer. And I think, like for me, for many years, I carried around victim. I carried around
Hmm.
trash. I carried
mm,
around
yeah.
unloved. I carried
Yeah.
around broken. I carried around so much negative that when I wrestled with my past, and believe me, there was a lot of long nights of wrestling with what's in this head and what's in this heart, what came out of this mouth. There's a lot of stuff that wrestled, and it wasn't easy. But when I got done wrestling with it, and I'm still wrestling with it, but God changed me. And no longer was I broken or victim, but now I'm a child of God. And no longer am I a
Yeah.
victim, but I'm victorious. So the joy that you see is the transformation that God does. I don't ignore what happened to me. I don't
Right.
pretend it didn't happen. I don't
Yeah.
put on a fake smile. I say, guess what? The junk happened, but the junk doesn't define me. The sum of
Yeah.
my past doesn't have to be the reality of my future. And the peace that I know by letting go and letting God, it's a great gift. And again, like a father, because I got four, I'm hoping not to hand down the junk that lived in this head, not the abuse. That wasn't going to get hanged down. That's done. But just the way I thought about myself. I didn't want to hang that down to my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hope, and they don't. And I'm not, by the grace of God.
Dude. Bam. All right. No, that deserves that right there. That was, yeah.
Do I get an amen? Do I have a witness in the house?
You got an
Amen.
amen, brother. You got an
Do I got
amen,
a
dude.
takeaway? I've been tambourine slap and Holy Ghost shouting. Sorry.
Dude. Yeah, no. Hey, and when you're wrestling, you're going pro wrestling. You got the whole Hulk Hogan leg drop thing going down and taking on Andre the Giant out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, brother. That's
Randy
right.
Savage.
It's all about the prayers and the vitamins, brother.
Come on.
Sorry, that was more
Yeah.
Macho Man, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Macho Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, brother. There we go. There we got it. The cream of the crop. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So listen, Mark, this is my gosh. Yeah, we got you need, I hope somebody picks this up, and I hope they make you get you a movie. I really think because in this day and age, that's how a lot of people, like we were talking about the millennials. If there's not an app for it, they ain't gonna find it. Which I'm glad that there's a great Bible app out there. With I know it's got a lot of different versions, but at least it's got the New King James in there. So for that. And there's some great devotionals through it as well. But dude, I mean, yeah, I think this does need to be brought into light, either like you said, as a documentary or as a movie. I'm not sure, but it needs to get out there. So whoever's listening, and I know they're out there because through the advisor group and everything, there's a lot of you. Somebody get with Mark and let's get this figured out and let's get things going. Mark, I love this, and I'm so glad you took the time to come on here, dude. You are just a true blessing to talk to, and just an amazing, fun guy, dude. I mean, I knew it last week when we were just kind of setting things up that I was like, oh, this is going to be a great show. This is going to be a great show. And I'm so stoked to have you on here. But you know what, Mark? Guess what?
What's that?
It's time for
Random questions of insanity.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Mind blown, buddy. This is a little game we like to do towards the end of the show. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. They're just random questions that we like to throw out there to see what your answers are and see the vibe and the thoughts and thought processes of Mark Sowersby. Sowersby.
You can just say fat kids next time.
Oh,
wow, Andy, way to go.
Yeah. Fat kid. We're here with
You're the one who started with
Kid.
Sowersby. I was following your lead.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, thanks
for
for
being
that
our guest,
pronunciation, by the way.
Well, no, actually, Andy is one of my, he's a great fact checker. So, like, I'll be doing something and he'll be like, Chris, no, that's not right. And so I kind of took the lead off of it. And I get,
I hear that a lot.
Wow. Whoa. All right.
Sorry.
Mark gets another rim shot there. That was beautiful.
Sorry.
That was beautiful. No. Do not be sorry. There is none of this. There was just pure on loving right there. So listen, let's do this. We have a couple standard questions we usually ask, and you are not of the millennial age, so I think you'll be able to get the first one right off the bat.
Okay.
First random question of insanity. What is the best James Bond film?
That is tough, but probably Goldfinger.
All right.
Yeah. Goldfinger or Live and Let Die, or there really isn't no wrong answer, but
no.
No, that's an excellent answer. Just out of curiosity, who's your favorite James Bond?
Man, you guys are, it's got to be the man, right? The original. It's got to be I could
Sean Connery.
It's got to be Sean Connery, the man, right?
That's right, Trebek. I won't go any farther with that because it gets kind of out of control.
I mean, he's Indiana Jones' dad.
I know, dude.
I mean,
and they couldn't have been any
James
better.
Bond, Indiana Jones' dad. I mean,
Our
if
name
I'm
the
ever
dog
in prison
Indy.
in Alcatraz, he's coming to get me.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
which we've actually had one of the guys from Escape from Alcatraz on here.
You guys,
So
he made it.
yeah.
You had one of the three. Like
As
what?
far as you know, as far as you know.
Thought they were in Argentina.
Actually,
That's what
no.
A&E told me. They were in Argentina.
The guy that we had on did not make it, so it was just a holographic image.
Okay.
Played by an actor from back in the day. What is your favorite sandwich and what all is on it? Like from bread to bread, what kind of bread? What do you put? Mayonnaise, mustard, whatever. What kind of sandwich? What do you have? What is your favorite sandwich?
I'm gonna go with your basic, probably your ham sandwich. I like cheese. I'm not a big tomato guy. I
Okay.
like my onions. I like my onions not cold, a little bit, not al dente. A little bit of onion, some cheese. I'm not really big. I don't mind. I'm a fat kid, so I eat anything. So any kind of cheese, ham, a little bit of salad, a lettuce. Probably on something like that.
See, that's East Coast thing, though. That's an East Coast thing. Put some salad on it.
Salad,
right?
Yeah. It's toasted probably. So wouldn't have mustard, probably a little bit of mayonnaise. That matters the day.
Dude. All right. I know. And again, there's no wrong answer, especially that's your sandwich. What kind of bread though?
I would say probably just a nice now this is where I'm from. This is where we call it. It's kind of like Hawaiian, but we call it Portuguese sweetbread. It's like kind of like Hawaiian. But I grew up calling it Portuguese sweetbread. We have a large Portuguese community here, and so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and that's the thing too. You're closer to Portugal over there, so Portuguese from there. On the West Coast, it's the Hawaiian bread because they're closer to. It's the same thing. It's just, anyway.
Maybe. Yeah.
But all right. Okay, Andrew, hit him with one.
What is the biggest lesson you learned from being a father?
Man, you want me to answer?
And you're not Catholic, so you can't use that.
The biggest lesson I learned from being a father is to know that the children's reality is a lot different than my reality. Like the world they're growing up in is so much more different than the world I'm growing up. And the influence around me is so much different than the influences around them. So the way they process life and have perspectives is so much different than the way I process life and have perspectives. So that's one. I don't know if that's the biggest. This is the first one I thought of.
No, that's a great answer.
No, that's again, no wrong answers. So no, yes, well done. Let's see. I'm gonna find a good one here. Which superpower would you not want?
Would I not want? Not want? Laser eyes. Laser eyes. I'd like to be invisible, but laser eyes, you'd have to wear the sunglasses all the time.
Right.
You take them off by accident, you kill somebody.
You're like, hey, Larry, let me see your binoculars. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man.
Now, maybe I'd like to have lasers other places, but just not the eye.
Whoa.
Fingertip. Ears, nostrils.
Come on.
See, well, that's the thing too. Achoo! Oh, dude. Just took out 3 stories in your apartment. I'm sorry, bro. All right, Andy.
So it's your turn to order the pizza for the group tonight. What are we ordering? What do you order on your pizza? There you go.
Dude, there was no hesitation. Oh my gosh. That was just like, meat lovers.
Because I'm the dad, so I never really get to do that.
Right?
Yeah, I do get to pay for it, but it usually turns into a major debate on what kind of cheese we have and allergies we have to fight through. So when they finally say, Dad, what do you want? It's going to be something that's so unhealthy.
Right.
We're having every kind of meat you can find. There's going to be elk. There's going to be bison. There's going to be snake and alligator. It's all going to be, it's just a little bit of
fried
sauce
protein. I want some boiled, fried, plain protein on that thing.
There's gonna be a pork chop just right in the middle of it.
Just give me
Greasy.
some tomato sauce and a pork chop. I'm happy.
No, I don't want cheese or salad. I just want a pork chop with some tomato sauce. That's the vegetable.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's great.
This will be interesting. Which famous celebrity would you want to punch in the face?
Which famous can they be an athlete?
Sure.
Absolutely.
That's a celebrity.
Those are celebrities. Yeah.
All right. Well, they'd probably kill me because they're strong, but basically anybody who plays for the New York Yankees.
Pure Boston Red Sox right there. That's for
That's
sure.
right.
Yeah, I get that. Well, plus the Yankees are just the Yankees.
Amen.
I'm an old Giants fan, so yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. Andy.
What is your biggest current pet peeve?
My biggest current pet peeve.
And it can't be coming on live stream podcasts.
Yeah, I can tend to be a bit impatient at times.
Okay.
And that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. Now, they probably won't know it because I got to be a pastor and be like, no, God loves you, but He loves you better if you show up on time. No,
Right.
And you don't cheese the pastor off.
That's right. Fire and brimstone this week.
I'm not saying I got connections, but
I'm in middle management. That's it, man.
right. They make all the decisions. I'm just kind of the one helping spread the love. Let's see. Let's go for a couple more here. Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, you know what? This is gonna go kind of along with what we were talking about earlier. What's better, ding dongs, ho hos, Twinkies, or fruit pies?
You just can't. That's a serious question. That's not something that's.
We don't mess around here, Mark.
Yeah, but you got to break that into subcategories. We're talking
right.
The filling, the texture of chocolate. Is it flaky? Is it melting? I mean, these have so many so many subjects involved in this. Variables, the day, the heat, the month. But I'm gonna blow you away, boys. Swiss rolls. Boom.
Oh, okay. So Little Debbie's.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I guess, and technically that's a ho-ho. So.
Says you.
All right. All right, Andy, one more from you.
Yeah. Your food is bad as a restaurant. Do you say anything to anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Probably. I mean, if I'm puking,
All right.
That's fine, no problem. How much of it? I mean, are we talking like I ran into pizza and I got a $5 pizza, or if I'm at a French cuisine with my wife and I mortgaged the meal? I mean,
definitely. You mortgage the meal and you get bad food.
You're at a restaurant.
Everybody's gonna know up in that house.
Okay.
I didn't know we ordered El Crapolo for dinner.
Right?
So.
Yeah.
Now, would you go old school? Back to your Boston roots and stuff. Listen, you stupid.
Hey, yeah. Listen.
Yeah.
You're Marky from Boston.
I'm gonna rip this place apart. Okay, I lived with a few brothers from Lawrence area, which is near Boston, I believe. Right?
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay, never mind. All right, you got 30 seconds to tell the world something, Mark. What is it?
Jesus loves you. Jesus died for you. Jesus cares about you. God is always there. And you can trust the Lord and call on Him, and God is there forever. I say, glorify the Lord. Man's religion will fail you. Man will fail you, but God will never fail you. Seek Him, and you shall find God. And that's my message to the world, that Jesus loved you, died for you.
Yes, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Where's my applause button? There it is. There it is, right there. All right, dude. That was awesome. Nailed it, of course, as always. Dude, Mark, this has been an absolute blast, man.
Yeah, Mark.
I would love
thank
to
you
have
so
you
much.
back on. Hopefully, we find somebody to get you connected and maybe get this thing made into a movie or some kind of type of a documentary kind of thing or something. I mean, this would be great, and to just find out, maybe in a year or so how things are going and what's been going on. Would you be willing to do that with us, bud?
Oh yeah, it's been great going on with you guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity to smile, to think, to pray. It's been a blessing being with you guys. And again, thank you for tackling such a subject on such a platform. It'd be easy for you guys just to go with the simple stuff, but you dived into such a topic, and I pray that many people can hear through the laughter and through the smiles, they can hear the truth.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. That is two kind of words. Now, Mark, again, let's plug the book. The book is called Forgiving the Nightmare. Where can people find Forgiving the Nightmare by Mark Sowersby?
You can go and find Forgiving the Nightmare at forgivingthenightmare.com and on Amazon at Forgiving the Nightmare.
Okay. And plug the website again one more time.
Forgivingthenightmare.com.
Boom. Yeah, dude. We're going to get you into some voiceover work, I think, too, man. All right. And anything coming up soon or anything? You got any events that you're going to be at? Or
we just got published in a magazine called Influence Magazine, which is kind of a biggie deal in our little pond. I'm an Assembly of God pastor. So, they hang out in Springfield, Missouri. So you're kind of in my Mecca. You're up there in my my holy land. So
yeah,
in our Assembly of God circles, I just got published in one of our magazines, and going on the Cornerstone Network, going on CTN Network, and just been able to get out there and share the gospel.
Right on, Mark. Hey, listen, man, keep it coming. Keep doing what you're doing, brother, and can't wait to get you back on here and find out how you been doing and everything. All right, man.
All right. God bless, guys. Thanks for having me.
God bless you. Thank you so much, Mark, for coming on the show, buddy. Wow. That was awesome. I knew it was going to be so fun, dude.
Yeah.
He's great. He's so cool.
Yeah. I love his energy. His energy's fantastic.
Oh my God. Yeah. That was just, dude. All right. Well, I don't know. I wanted to kind of keep him on, but I had a lot more questions. I wanted to ask him, the old Iron Man, Batman, but I figured I didn't want to get too involved with that because then, I knew he'd pick Iron Man and then you'd just be like, oh, you're just baiting him.
Oh, so,
but that's what I do. That's what I do.
Right. Yes.
So
yes,
it's all good. All right. So that brings us to the end of another round
season 3.
And the end of season 3. Did you all find the Easter eggs? Did you find the clues and the cliffhangers for next season? Wonder Woman. Oh my gosh.
Wonder Woman. That was perfect.
It's not a multiple choice. It's either or.
He can say whoever he wants. He's allowed.
Yeah, it's Iron Man. We all know
allowed.
It's Iron Man. Okay,
Mark,
so
Wonder Woman.
Next week we will not be here. Next week we are taking a little seasonal break, and then we'll come back with season 4 with Lee Robinson from Relentless Pursuit. Where's Lee's graphic?
I think it's Lee Gibson.
What?
Lee Gibson.
Lee Gibson? Oh my gosh, dude! I've been calling him Robinson. I mean, when I talk to him, oh wow, he's a very nice man.
Lee Gibson.
Founder and executive director of Relentless Pursuit Outreach and Recovery, which basically helps people out of the sex trafficking and human trafficking trades. Lee does amazing work. And again, the money from Run to Stop It goes to help fund those people. And we just cannot say enough nice things about them. So make sure you buy a hat. Andy, could you model the hat for us one more time, please?
Oh, sure. Yes.
Yeah. So now the new ones I ordered will be in all black. So imagine this color all over there. And we will get that money to the Run to Stop It Foundation. And $25, go to the website. It's there, or just email me at therandomchristianshow.com and we'll get you set up. In the meantime, though, Andy, you got Roman regrets this weekend?
Not this weekend. Next week. So,
Next week. All right. So everybody's on hiatus for a week. Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
like
Well,
it.
one of our hosts got sick. So.
Oh, well, then there we go. And there's that. And so, with that note of us sickening people everywhere around the world, because we are number one, at least, well, for last month, we were number one. Right now, we're sitting at number 3. So like, follow, subscribe, spread the word. Tell people to enjoy this show. We try to make it fun and give you a little break from the humdrum crap world that we live in. So let's make it better for everyone. Go to the website. You can check out Mark Sowersby's book. Get the links for there for all that. In the meantime, I am Christian. He is Andy. Wait, Andy. There's Andy right there.
Him. That. I'm Andy. Yes.
Yeah, you're Andy. I'm Chris.
I'm Andy.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And this is the Random Christian Show. And for the next couple of weeks, we're going to say sayonara, see you later, adios, and all that. We will see you in 2 weeks with Lee Gibson. All right, kids. Have a great weekend. Be good to each other. Couple of weeks. We'll be back with season 4 and have some fun with you. God bless you all. Have a great day.